dead, too dead by dawn.
So I've decided to endorse fewer films from major studios due to the strikes and focus on independent movies and movies from other countries. Which brings us to this, an Australian film distributed by A24, an independent company that actually supports its writers and actors. And they just put out the highly acclaimed Talk to Me. Meanwhile, Disney is one of the struck companies and also mistreats its visual effects artists, and this year they put out Secret Invasion, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. In a world full of Disneys, be in the A24. Am I doing it? So, Talk to Me is the debut film from directors Danny and Michael Filippo, the brothers behind the YouTube channel Raka Raka, written by Danny along with Bill Hinsman and Daley Pearson. Hinsman has pretty much just this on his IMDB page, but Pearson is known as a producer on Bluey. Well, this is different. This episode of Bluey is called Don't Let the Demon Tear Your Eye Out. So, Raka Raka is a channel that I was subscribed to some time ago. They made weird, violent horror comedy type shorts with ridiculous concepts. I unsubscribed a few years ago for my own personal reasons, but with this movie bringing them back to my attention, I have since subscribed again, although I don't know how often they're going to upload now that they've actually made it in the industry. This is just like when I found out about Michael Cusack's channel after Smiling Friends. Another Australian guy, too. But anyway, the movie is about a group of teens who find a new way to have fun with themselves, using an embalmed severed hand to allow themselves to get possessed by spirits for 90 seconds. Until, and this is going to be a major surprise, something goes horribly wrong. Fans of the channel might be surprised by how much this fits into A24's horror catalog. I know I was after seeing the trailer when I found out who made it. You'd think it would be like another X-type thing where it's something radically different, something more like their videos. Even until I actually saw the movie, I was expecting it all to build up to an in-your-face, over-the-top climax, especially with what I heard about the violence here. But it never really did. It's a dark, subtle story throughout. It's not even as violent as I was expecting. Yes, there is a scene maybe halfway through that was pretty shocking, but the rest of it isn't really that much worse than most R-rated horror films, especially considering the level of violence in the director's YouTube videos. In the theater, my seat was right next to a group of kids, who probably came because of the YouTube connection. But I still thought that was weird for a gory horror movie. But now I see it's an atmospheric, elevated horror movie about grieving and traumatized characters that just happen to have some violence in it. So that's less weird. But anyway, yes, the story is set into motion because the characters do stupid stuff, but it's handled in a way that seems almost believable. The possession thing is framed almost like a drug where it's understandable why young, dumb teens would keep going back to it at parties. And once things go wrong, things get heavy. It throws them into what would be a horrific situation that feels real even without the supernatural element. Taking this from a cautionary tale of teenagers doing stupid and dangerous shit that can pass as an anti-drug PSA in disguise to a more somber and disturbing horror. And the atmosphere is unsettling. Who would have guessed that the guy is known for making YouTube videos about Ronald McDonald killing people for liking Burger King or something would be this successful at making serious atmospheric horror? It's also a lot bleaker than I was expecting. I was a little confused by the last scene at first, but after thinking about it for a moment and realizing what happened, I realized it was probably the perfect ending to it all. So, is it A24's best horror film since Hereditary, like people are saying? I don't know. I think I've ranked both X and Pearl higher than this, but after thinking about this question, I guess I'd say it might be the scariest since Hereditary, or at least that I can think of right now. Also, like X, it has already been confirmed for a sequel called Talk to Me. Seems like an odd title for a serious horror movie. I was sort of thinking the title would be I'll Let You In, since that's the second thing that's said in the ritual of using the hand. Either way, I kinda hope they continue from right after the events of this movie. That could be interesting. Also, I recently found out that they're making a prequel film to this as well. Shit, if you put that out before Talk to Me, then maybe this could be just like X. But anyway, this is a great A24 horror movie and a promising debut. A reminder that demonic possession is not a great party activity. Just bring drugs instead.